The sixth cop that was actually identified and was relieved of duty a little bit ago has now been fired. But I still don't think that's enough. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pascal back at it again with another pop-up video. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and on Twitter, The Pascal Show. One word, hit that like button down below, and let's not forget to crush that subscribe button if this is your first time checking out this channel right here. Anyway, we got to jump into this story. I got a quick one for you guys. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy weekend as well. So I got to get to you guys this story, or I got to get to you guys this story really, really quick. As we already know, I've been watching and following closely to the Tyre Nichols tragedy, the young man that was attacked by multiple, not only just 5 cops, multiple cops attacked this young man on a routine traffic stop. Yet we still don't know everything about that yet. Body cam footage shows us the absolute ultimate moment. The most tragic thing that I feel like was a public lynching, if you will. But we have not seen everything yet. But one of the body cams that we did see was done by an officer by the name of Preston Hemphill. All right. I kept asking when we were watching it the first time, who's the white guy? Who's the white officer with the hands? What's going on with this? I'm so confused about this, right? Well, just a few days ago, I reported that Preston Hemphill and another officer that was not publicly identified yet. Okay, they did not release his information out there yet. Yet in the rumor mill, people are saying certain things about that guy. We'll talk about him in a later show. But when it came to Preston, okay, they said, and this 7th guy, they said that they were relieved of their duties. Basically, they're surfing a desk. Okay, they're on paid leave. Paid vacation, for crying out loud. Not out in the streets, probably pushing paper, and that's about it. But now we got some new information as of yesterday. Wasn't able to get on yesterday. Was a crazy day, but I wanted to show this to you guys as a family and take a look at this. Some new developing information, guys. Memphis cop Preston Hemphill, okay, Horde 26 as I like to call him, okay, has been fired for his role in Tyre Nichols' demise, okay? Because I don't like to call this an arrest, because let's be real. What did this man do to garner any reason for them to arrest or even pull him over in the first place? They even said, okay, even the highest of the high, okay, highest rank, the chief of police is even sitting here saying there is nothing that shows probable cause to pull over this man in the middle of an intersection, pull him out of his car, chase him down, and then bludgeon him to death, basically, okay? For lack of a better term, all right? But now we have the 6th officer officially fired. Let's get into this article, shall we? Let's get into this. Now, of course, we already know this is Horde 26, okay? We already know. We already know about Horde 26, okay? But let's get into this, okay? A 6th Memphis police officer has been fired for his role in the fatal arrest of Tyre Nichols. The department announced Friday that Officer Preston Hemphill had been terminated after an administrative investigation found that he violated multiple department policies during Nichols' January 7th arrest. Hemphill, who had already been suspended, violated the department's policies regarding personal conduct, truthfulness, compliance with taser regulations, compliance with uniform regulations, and inventory and processing recovered property, the department said. Now, let me just stop here really quick, okay? All this right here shows corruption like a mother lover. That, to me, automatically, when they say personal conduct, I get that part, right? That obviously he shouldn't have gone up to Tyre and attacked him the way he did. He didn't ask what the heck was going on. He didn't stop these other officers when they were doing harm to this civilian, because until he was put into a court of law, let's be real, unless he was caught with a smoking gun, he was innocent until proven guilty. And yet they still grabbed him, pulled him out of his car, attacked this young man, acted like he was a criminal when they had nothing to prove that he was. So that's also one big part. Truthfulness. Let's not forget about truthfulness. Obviously, they got together. They probably corroborated some sort of elaborate story. Maybe their police reports are not saying exactly what happened in those videos, etc. So they're literally saying that he lied. Okay, compliance with taser regulations. You already know what that is. He was quick to pull out his taser and tase this young man without even asking or even wondering if it was the right situation to use a taser in the first place. Okay? Compliance with uniform regulations? I don't even know what that means. Okay? That's one piece that I still am wondering about. Did he makes you wonder, like, he take off his badge? Did something go on? Compliance with uniform regulations? That's something that I'm curious about. Then also inventory and processing recovered property. That's something. That's something that that makes me wonder: were they tampering with evidence? Was he tampering with evidence? Like I said, he's somebody who has been working alongside with the Scorpion unit. Maybe he was trying to hold it down for his other men and his other boys in blue, for his other brothers in blue. I don't know, but a part of this, something does not smell right when it comes to looking at this story here. And clearly, this man was up to no good. This is the same man. Let me just say that too. This is the same dude that was out here saying, "Oh, I hope they stomp his ass." Literally, he was saying those things caught on body cam as he's winding up his cords from his taser and all that. Okay? Bad stuff. But let's continue on here. He had been a member of the police force since 2018. His lawyer, Lee Gerald, confirmed earlier this week that his client was the white officer whose body cam video from the deadly traffic stop was released by Memphis police. Hemphill was seen firing a stun gun at Nichols as he fled from police in his first altercation with the police following the initial traffic stop. He was not at the second scene where 5 black cops brutally beat the 25-year-old black FedEx worker with punches, kicks, and baton strikes. Of course, we already know that Nichols passed on days later. Okay? He has not yet been charged of this crime. Okay? Memphis police said that the investigation is still ongoing and multiple other officers remain under investigation for department policy violations in the incident. And that's the thing. We already have 5 of these other officers that have been arrested. They were thrown into jail. They all bailed out. But all those 5 that we all saw, mainly in the video, doing serious harm on Tyre, those guys all got caught, thrown in jail, have been charged. They're looking at second-degree M's so far. Unless the rumor mill in the streets is true, maybe if it is true, maybe there will be an upgrade on some charges on some of these officers, all depending if these rumors are true. Yet I still have yet to see anything to be true about these rumors, okay? But he was one of the 6th before the actual devastating ultimate tragedy that we all saw laid out in front of us before our eyes late last week, okay? But he has yet to be charged of a crime. Now, he could be charged of a crime. It may not be as severe as second-degree M, but he could see other accounts of aggravated assault of some sort. Now, to me, Horde 26 getting fired is a great step in the right direction, but is it enough? I'll tell you this. No, it is absolutely not enough. He had a million different things he could have done that could have saved Tyre's life. But he decided to choose one path and one path only. I remember Al Sharpton saying this during his eulogy at Tyre's funeral. He said, and it was very true. Not once did they ask for his license, his registration, check his ID, nothing, to make sure that maybe what if it was a guy that matched the description of somebody else that we're looking for. They didn't do any of those things. They did no background checks to make sure that this was the guy that they needed to get. They threw all of his rights as a citizen, okay? They threw all that stuff out the window and gave zero damns. Now, to me, Horde 26 getting fired is a great step in the right direction, but is it enough? I'll tell you this. No, it is absolutely not enough. He had a million different things he could have done that could have saved Tyre's life, but he decided to choose one path and one path only. I remember Al Sharpton saying this during his eulogy at Tyre's funeral. He said, and it was very true. Not once did they ask for his license, his registration, check his ID, nothing, to make sure that maybe what if it was a guy that matched the description of somebody else that we're looking for. They didn't do any of those things. They did no background checks to make sure that this was the guy that they needed to get. They threw all of his rights as a citizen, okay? They threw all that stuff out the window and gave zero damns. Now, one of the things within the George Floyd Policing Act that they are trying to enact here, of course, we saw Vice President Kamala Harris go during his eulogy, during Al Sharpton's eulogy, and make a statement basically saying, like, we need to push this act as soon as possible. We need to push this policing act as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, so we can save more people and have less moments like tragedies like this, like Tyre Nichols tragedy, happen out here. But one of the things that was said in this policing act was this. Finally, it directs DOJ to create uniform accreditation standards for law enforcement agencies to require law enforcement officers to complete training on racial profiling, implicit bias, and the duty to intervene when another officer uses excessive force. Now, I said this in the other show before, but I'm going to say it again. This is something, the last part, that whole sentence, for crying out loud, should already be implicated in the way that police are policing out in these streets. Now, when you look at Horde 26, was he doing any of that? And I'm not only just going after Preston Hemphill. I'm talking about all the officers that were involved. That's why they say multiple officers are being investigated right now. Multiple are under investigation. Why? Because they did not use anything to try to, say, intervene when another officer was using excessive force. There was no showing proof training of implicit bias or anything of that sort. They went after this young man with red in their eyes. They gave zero damns about the livelihood of this young man. And no one stepped up. None of these men that were supposed to serve and protect came in and protected this young man. They let all of this go down. So when we talk about Horde 26, including any of the other guys, any of these other officers that may be looking at the chopping block, losing their job and all that, well, one, if they have anything to do with it on the outside, yes, terminate the aces. That's what I say. Terminate them all. The world can use a few more baristas, okay? But the ones that were involved putting their hands on this young man, they should be catching charges that maybe not as hard, maybe not as harsh, obviously, as the second degree M, maybe first degree for some of these officers. But if they put their hands on this young man for no reason whatsoever, not only should they be terminated, but they also should be catching some sort of charge like aggravated assault. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Let me know what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with me or not? Do you stand with me on this? Or do you think that's a little too extreme? It doesn't matter. Whatever your thoughts are, comment down below. Love to hear your thoughts on that. At the end of the day, the man did some action that did not need to happen. He was a part of the problem. He was not a part of the solution. And that's my biggest gripe over this whole situation. This is a young man that could still be out here taking photographs of sunsets, skateboarding, enjoying his life, being a great father, and being a good son to his mother. And now we have been rid, the whole world has been rid of a good kid because these officers decided to choose violence that day. So let them catch every charge that they could get because that's what they deserve. Anyway, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to hit that like button and most definitely crush that subscribe button. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.